these three things out using Flexbox this time. We're not using any frameworks. We're not using Foundation. We're not using Bootstrap. Not using any of that. So if we look at our HTML again, I had a nav with a class of nav on what we're calling the sidebar. So we could just choose to change that. So in sidebar.js, instead of this silly paragraph, we'll return a div class name of capital S sidebar. And it looks like we could put this kind of stuff. We'll have to tweak some stuff here, but I can copy and paste this for now. Change all the classes to class name. And we are pointing to hosted versions of these images, but you have these images. They're in your public folder. Let's start with that quill. So quill.svg is in your public folder. I'm going to move it to source. Just drag it to source. Who knows what SVG is? Not necessarily what it stands for, but what it is. Yeah, Dom?
It's basically a vector file that it doesn't lose quality because all of it's calculated. So it's not actually pixels.
All right. It's a vector image as opposed to a pixel-based image, just like fonts were, we said, when we were talking about Font Awesome. And that means that it's scalable and will not lose quality. And in fact, it's just text. It's XML. Now this is a minified version, it's all in one line, but it's just XML. So guess what we can do? We can import it. So let's do it. Let's import it above the CSS. Import quill from /quill.svg. And then I can say image source, and instead of putting in a string there, pointing at a URL, curly brace, quill. I got some indentation problems. What's that? Thank you. Yep. So image is an empty element, right? So we need to remember that self-closing tag. That made some of those things go away. Say again? Oh, I have two other images, right, which we're about to fix. So go ahead and at least do that. If we do that, there they are. That looks horrible. But by golly, they're there. And our quill broke. What did I put? The file name is actually lowercase s, lowercase q. It's in the source directory. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill my server and start it again. See if that helps. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I do have quotes around the curly braces. Thanks. Holy crap! By golly, it's there though, isn't it? All right, so maybe we need some CSS to make this look a tad better. Yeah, oh, okay. So let's look at static CSS and see if we can identify the stuff that goes with our sidebar. There's some stuff at the top I'm not going to worry about for right now. I'm going to look for this sidebar stuff. So if you remember, back in static, there was a class of nav on this stuff for that in our CSS. Okay, here it is. Here's some .nav stuff. I'm going to copy that rule and that rule and that rule and that one. Okay, looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rules here. I will paste this in. So in sidebar.css, oops. If I paste those in, up I missed the contents of that last rule. This nav button rule. So I'm not quite done, so I'm not going to paste this in just yet. I say nav logo image. So our class, we changed the name, right? So I'm going to do a find and replace throughout this file. Command F or Control F. And this is important. See this? That's for case-sensitive search, to match the capitalization. So I click that, and I get a blue thing around it. I want to search for capital N nav. Make sure you're in the CSS file, of course. And replace it with capital S sidebar. If you want to be safe, just go ahead and put that dot there, because that shouldn't appear anywhere in the HTML. I'm going to live dangerously and just do a replace all right off the bat. That's why we have undo buttons, right? Save that. Okay, that is better. Ooh, neato. Yeah.
Where did you get that CSS from?
So I had a project out on GitHub called Note Static that I had you clone, and then you opened it up and copied the files over.
Yeah.
So it's static.css.
Static. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon? Okay. Since I seem to have this one component styled, I'm going to go ahead and commit this much. And I promised I would paste this, so I really will.